Have you at any point halted to consider exactly what amount of your own data is drifting around on the web? Furthermore, how much control do you truly have over it? Meet Mustafa Al-Bassam, a former hacker who understands firsthand the vulnerabilities of our modern digital age. In the wake of being restricted from the web for almost 2 years, he understood exactly how much of our general public relies upon innovation and how little control we have over our own information. In this video, we'll explore Mustafa's insights on internet privacy, data consent, and the impact of technology on our lives. Stick around to learn why his story is a cautionary tale for all of us who use the internet. Mustafa Al-Bassam accepts that the web and other present-day advancements have become profoundly imbued in individuals' lives, to the degree that they impact virtually every part of the human condition. Notwithstanding, he believes that a little level of individuals know about society's reliance on these specialized developments. In only years and years, individuals have put a huge piece of their lives, including a portion of their most touchy and confidential data, in the possession of a modest bunch of tremendous companies on which they depend. Mustafa Al-Bassam thinks that this has made people extremely vulnerable. Compared to using physical publications, like an atlas or a phone book, Mustafa Al-Bassam has realized that searching for contacts online is much more convenient. He's not alone in this realization. However, Mustafa, like other people in his situation, has had to deal with restricted internet access. Mustafa became a part of a computer hacking organization in 2011 when he was just 16 years old. This organization targeted and stole confidential information from various governmental and business organizations. Mustafa Al-Bassam was detained and later released on bond, but with a condition of a ban on the use of electronic equipment that could connect to the internet for nearly 2 years. This provision was a part of the terms of his release. Nonetheless, the education system is planned expecting everybody approaches the web, and this fundamentally affected his life. For instance, Mustafa was enrolled in a biology class that required internet research and essay writing, which he could not fulfill due to limited access. The inability to use the internet made it challenging for Mustafa Al-Bassam to become a fully functioning member of society. This was a huge hindrance for him, and it caused him to acknowledge how much current life relies upon innovation and the amount it has influenced individuals' lives. This occasion features the significance of innovation and how it has changed the manner in which individuals live and associate with one another. Mustafa Al-Bassam encountered a problem with technology, highlighting society's dependence on the internet, as the web has turned into an urgent piece of regular daily existence. Mustafa accepts that doing exercises, for example, keeping awake to date with recent developments, finishing schoolwork tasks, or directing exploration would be trying without web access. Despite this dependence, Mustafa argues that appropriate risk assessments have not been carried out. He noticed that Google, Yahoo, and Hotmail are the main 3 organizations utilized by 90% of individuals who access their email through online assistants in the US. This means that these 3 businesses have access to the communications of an entire country, and possibly the whole world, which raises concerns. Furthermore, Mustafa points out that both Gmail and Facebook use computer algorithms to search through users' email inboxes and track their internet activities, respectively. By gathering information about users' contacts, hobbies, and interests, these businesses can compile a user profile. Advertisers then use this data to deliver more relevant ads to users. Mustafa observes that people have, for the most part, given up their right to privacy in exchange for free services and increased convenience. When asked about the security of their personal information, Mustafa Al-Bassam feels that a significant number of people are likely to respond in a contemptuous manner. They can be worried that the data they will give will be misused or taken advantage of by somebody they don't have the foggiest idea. Then again, he is of the assessment that this perspective is excessively short-sighted, especially when one considers the private and touchy person of a specific source of information. Sharing your most profound, most private contemplations and sentiments with a total outsider is something that Mustafa accepts ought to never be finished. Apparently, Mark Zuckerberg, the pioneer behind Facebook, shares Mustafa's perspective on this. In a text message conversation with friends that was later made public, Mark Zuckerberg was overheard using harsh words to criticize Facebook users who trusted the platform with their data. He referred to these individuals as dumb and utilized other overly critical terms to portray them. After that, the dialogue that was overheard became known to the general public. Mustafa Al-Bassam is of the opinion that one of the most major problems relates to the absence of consent regarding personal data. He is of the assessment that most people are uninformed about the data they offer and the reasons that they are served by it. As indicated by him, people have almost zero power over their own information, which raises serious security concerns. Nowadays, advanced innovation, Mustafa al-Bassam considers the issue of the information agreement to perhaps the main worry that exists. The cell phone game known as Angry Birds has proactively been downloaded by more than 1.7 billion people everywhere. It's one of those applications that utilize your GPS position to follow where you are, even while you're not effectively playing the game. This can happen regardless of whether you have the application open, however it isn't suggested. Along these lines, it is workable for it to follow your whereabouts even while you're not utilizing it, even during the parts of the game in which you're not actually required to participate. As of now, you may be pondering to yourself, for what reason does a cell phone game, particularly one like Angry Birds, need to know my area? Playing the game Angry Birds requires the player to be in a similar actual spot as the actual game. Again, the solution is to display marketing to you within a game that is more closely targeted to your interest and preferences. This time though, the solution is to display more tailored marketing. Despite the way the support in the game is totally for nothing, the organization is in any case ready to bring in cash thanks to the promotions that are now shown on the screen. It is interesting to note that massive papers obtained from the National Security Agency have revealed that the information that is created by these applications, such as Angry Birds, is collected by intelligence services in order to spy on people. This data incorporates individual subtleties like names, locations, and phone numbers. The Angry Birds paper is a good example of one of these papers. It was received from the National Security Agency. The ankle is being monitored by this device. It is a global positioning system gadget that the police use to monitor the whereabouts of individuals who are detained at home or who are free from jail but still under supervision. It's probably a gadget that you would rather not haul around with you, since you don't believe the specialist should constantly have the option to follow your area, which is simply unusual. It's probably a gadget that you would rather not have on you. You'd rather not have it on you whenever. Despite this, our cell phones and a significant number of the web services that we make use of are, in essence, glorified versions of volunteer ankle monitors. And to avoid having to pay for the services that they give, we enable private businesses to use them in the same way that the police do. This holds us back from paying for the administrations that they give. At the point when it was cleared up for Mustafa al-Bassam that he would have, as of now, not have the option to get to the web, he had a significant feeling of reduced independence. However, after recovering access to the internet, he found himself wondering if he had genuinely gained any freedom, or if he had, in fact, lost even more. He questioned whether or not he had truly acquired any independence at all. He compared the feeling of communicating online to having a private conversation with a close friend while being filmed by a complete stranger, who is a computer programmer, stationed in a different area of the world. He said that the experience was similar to how it would feel to communicate with a complete stranger in person. It made him feel uneasy, as if someone had violated his privacy without his knowledge or agreement. He had no say in the matter. Mustafa al-Bassam's story is a sobering sign of exactly the amount we depend on innovation in our regular routines, and that we're so defenseless against computerized dangers. His involvement in confined web access provided him with a special viewpoint on the significance of information security and the possible risk of sharing individual data on the web. By sharing his insights, Mustafa encourages us to take control of our own data and to stay informed about the risk associated with our digital lives. We hope that this video has shed some light on these important issues and inspired you to stay vigilant against cyber threats. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating content.